we first have to look at the definition of the word function. A graph represents a function if each x value there is only one y value. So each one x value there's only one y. Otherwise it is called a relation. So to test whether a graph represents a function or not is to use what we call the vertical line test. Vertical line test. Now how does it work? You draw vertical lines on the graphs. If there's no vertical lines that crosses twice, it is called a function. So therefore, this is a function. Function. And why does it work? Because if you draw a vertical line, one x value, there's only one y value, isn't it? One x, one y. That's why it's a function. For any x value you choose, there's only one y value. That's why it crosses once. On the other hand, if you look at this graph, it crosses twice. So for one x value, there's two different y values, right? So it doesn't fit the definition of a function. So 1x, two y values, right? Two different y values. So we say this is not a function. Okay. All right. So we say this is a relation. So that's how we use the vertical line test. All right, any question? So draw vertical lines. If it crosses more than once, at least once, then we say it's not a function. All right, let's see if you can tell whether the next one is a function or not. Now let's draw some vertical lines, no problem. But what about here? Does it cross twice or once? Once, because the open circle is not included, right? It's excluded. Excluded dot. So therefore it is a function. A function. A function. How about the next one? Does that satisfy the vertical line test? Well, it does, isn't it? You can't find a point where you can't find an x value where there's two y values. It never crosses the graph more than once, right? So we say yes, this is a function. So basically a function doesn't have to be continuous, it can be disconnected. But this is not a function because it crosses twice. I'll give you one more example. A circle, is that a function? No, because it crosses twice. And many others. Alright, good. After we do that, that helps you to do exercise 5.1. And then we're going to do 5.2 as well. Function notation. How does the function notation work? Consider this, find the value y if x is 3. Pretty easy, it's just substitute 3 into x, you get 5. So if x is 3, y equal to 5. Good. Okay. Alright. If now this is the same question except now we're going to use a function notation. So instead of saying x equal to 3, find a y value, I could find f3. What does f3 means? Where it means that when you replace x by 3, you replace this x by 3 also. So this xe and this xe has to be the same value. So if I put a 3 into that bracket, it means that that x value is now replaced by 3. It gives you the answer 5. And this is more condensed. This is more condensed because instead of saying x equal to 3, y equal to 5, I could put it into one sentence, f3 equals to 5. That's the advantage of using function notation, so you know to associate x equal to 3 with the y value of 5. So it's like associated. Okay? Of course, you can calculate any other value. I could substitute 1, I could work out what that equal to, f1 equal to 3, etc. and many more. Alright, any question on the function notation? We'll do more example on that. There's an example on the next page. We'll have a practice. Okay, let's look at example 2. Next page. Alright, now we're not limited to the pronumeral f. I could use g of x, right? But f is often used because f like stands for the first letter of the word function. But I could call it g, I could call it h, I could call it anything. Just like a pronumeral. It's like a pronumeral for graph. Okay, or pronumeral for formulas. So with this example, we're going to calculate g of -2. Just be careful. -2, make sure you put a bracket around -2. Because the answer will be 4 minus 3, which is 1. Notice it's positive 4. And when you do it on a calculator, make sure you put a bracket around it. So if I get a calculator out, for example, if I just do -2 square minus 3, that's a problem because it ends up doing -4 minus 3. So what you need to do is, when you see a function like that, you need to put a bracket around it. Now, if you put a bracket like this, it still doesn't work. You got to put the bracket before the square. Now it works, okay? So just be careful. All right, good. Now, we're not limited to substituting numbers. I could also substitute pronumeral. And that doesn't stop us from doing that. So that means whatever the x is, you replace this x by the expression inside the bracket. In this case, it's a plus 2. So that a plus 2 will appear on the right side of the equation, square minus 3. And then you have to go plus 1. You're right. Oops, I forgot about that. And the plus 1. So you have a plus 1. So that x, only the x gets replaced, and you have an extra plus 1 at the end. You also put a plus 1 at the end. No, it's not inside the bracket. It's outside the bracket. Yeah, it's outside the bracket, plus 1. And then what you're going to do is to expand this a squared plus 4a plus 4 minus 3 plus 1. Collecting like terms, you will get 2. So be very careful. What's outside doesn't get substituted. What's inside gets substituted. Okay. All right, try the next one. They look the same. Yep. Well, plus 1 here, so I'll put another plus 1 there. So you see g of x equals to x squared minus 3. So if I add a 1, I also add a 1 on the right. So yeah. It's not included in the brackets. Yeah. All right, good. Try the next one. Okay, good. Let's do this. GA plus h. What do? You replace the x by a plus h. So it doesn't have to be one pronumeral. It can be more than one pronumeral. And you just expand with the perfect square formula. And you got this. Alright, good. What if you do 2 times g of x, means you double the function. So 2 times now g of x is x squared minus 3. So you double that, 2x squared minus 6. So it's like doubling y. This thing of g of x is like the y value. Yeah. Alright, how about g of x squared? G of x squared means you square what's inside. X squared minus 3 squared. So you square the whole thing, and you have to expand it using the perfect square formula. X squared squared minus 2 times 3x squared plus 3 squared. And then what do you get? X power of 4 minus 6x squared plus 9. Okay, one more. Reciprocal. What does reciprocal mean? Same thing. 1 over whatever that happens. X squared minus 3. Done. Yep. So hopefully you can see how it works with all these examples. What it means to do the operation on the function. What it means to substitute x into the function. Okay, we've got another question you could try. Example 3. Have a try. See if you can do it. Alright, how to do the next one? So what do? You have to find x value that you substitute to get the answer 6. For example, h1 equal to 4 times 1. 4 times 1 minus 2, so you get 2. Right? But we want the answer 6, isn't it? Maybe I'll do h3. Yeah, but anyone can see without that's 12 minus 2. Still doesn't work. So what you do is, instead of doing trial and error, let's substitute. Let's make 4x minus 2 equal to 6. Right? That's h of x. Let's solve for x. 4x equal to 8. What's x equal to? 2. So 2 will work. So get the idea. So if I substitute 2 into h, I will get 6 as the answer. And to do that, you just have to solve the equation. So that's given the y value, find the x value. So to speak, so given the, you can just ignore it. So it didn't work. So we have to find an x value that works. So we found that therefore h2 equal to 6. Yeah. So you want to find an x value that makes this true. One way is to do trial and error, which will take long. Another way is just solve the equation. Get the idea? All right. What if I give you another question? What if I wrote this? hx equal to x. What would you do? What if it's equal to x, not equal to a number? You just make them equal, right? And then what do you do next? Minus x on both sides. So you get 3x minus 2 equal to 0. And what's x equal to? 3x equal to 2. X equal to 2/3. So when x is 2/3, you get this equal. Right? Now let's try it. Let's do h2 over 3. What's h2 over 3? 2 over 3 square minus 3. Oh, no, not this one. Wrong formula. It's 4 times h2 over 3 equal to 4 times 2/3 minus 2. Let's do that on a calculator. So you get 4 times 2 over 3 minus 2. You get 2/3, right? So if I substitute 2/3, my answer is still 2/3. So if I substitute x, my answer will also be x. So you can also solve the equation to achieve that. Alright, get the idea? Yep, could be. Yep. Oh, that's a separate question. Separate. That's a separate question. So you can use it. So depending what the right side is, you just have to solve the equation. So it can be equal to 6. You find what x equal to make it 6. X is 2. Or if the answer is x, you just make it equal to x. Solve the equation. Yeah. So if hx equal to x, we see that if x is 2 over 3, it makes it work. h 2/3 is equal to 2/3. hx equal to x. So whatever x you put in has to be the same answer of what you put in. And the only number that works is 2/3. So if I substitute 2/3, my answer is still 2/3. Whereas if I substitute 2, I get the answer 6. Yeah, get the idea? Alright, good. Alright. Lastly, we're going to look at piecemeal function, piecewise function. That's something new you haven't learned last year, but it's not something you have never seen before. You have just seen it in the first topic. Let's go through what that means. You've probably seen this notation already. Where do you actually see this sort of thing? In what topic? Do you remember? No? Okay, let's look at how that works. Let's find F4. What does F4 mean? Now, it gives you different formula for different x values. So 4, which part does it belong? The top one, x is more than 3. So when x is more than 3, I use this formula. So therefore, F4 equals to 4 cubed. Because 4 is more than 3, I choose the first option. And what's 4 cubed? 64. So piecewise function means I use different formula in one formula, and then which formula I choose depends on what x values I choose. So if I choose f of 0, which one will it be? Which formula? First, second, or third? The last one, less than or equal to 0. So I use this option, 0 squared minus 0 plus 2, which is equal to 2. And then we'll go one more. Okay, and then we'll do f of 2 plus f of negative 2. Now, what's f of 2? Which one will I use? I use the middle one between 0 and 3. So the answer will be 5. I'll choose this one, right? When x is between 0 and 3, the answer is always 5. What if it's negative 2? I choose the second option, the last option, which is negative 2 squared minus negative 2 plus 2. So this comes from this. All of this comes from there. And then f2 equal to 5. So you now have to simplify. So what would that be? 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2. So the answer is, so it's 9 plus 6, 15, yeah? Oops, okay. So, yeah, all right. So that will be 8 plus 5, 13, okay. Right, does that make sense? So how it works? Now let me tell you something. You actually seen this before. And if you forgot, it's like this. This is a piecewise function. Remember this? If x is positive, if x is negative. So that's like a special case of piecewise function. So it's something you've seen before. Yep. All right, good. So we call this the absolute value function. Are you going to learn more function in this topic? Value function, yeah. Of course you will change. Yeah, in the textbook you see different question, and you see exam different question. Just like this, I just make up a formula like this. You could make up your own formula, x cubed plus 4, anything. We just call it anything. Yeah, so that's not restricted. Whereas if I write, what's the other formula? Yeah, okay, yeah, so it doesn't change. Yeah, it does change. What else I have to say? I want to say one more thing. Hopefully you got enough space. My writings are big, so I'm sure you can fit more in. There's one more thing I want to do. What if I want to find this one? See if you can work out. That's very hard. That's a hard question. So don't worry if you can't work out. But if you can see what that is, that will be excellent. Now, f negative a squared, which option do I use? I don't know what a is. But yeah, you can actually choose the right option. See if you can figure out. Why the last one? It's a negative. Yeah, that's right. But it only works because negative a squared. Negative a squared is always negative. It wouldn't work if I write negative a. That may not be negative. That could be positive. Right? Because negative a squared is always negative, I choose the last option. So therefore, my answer will be negative a squared minus negative a squared plus 2. So where I see the x, I replace it by negative a squared. Oh, that's good. You're pretty bright. Okay, very good. So you get a to the power 4. I'm impressed. Plus a squared plus 2. I thought you all will be very confused, but it's all good. You're very 5.1, 5.2 today. Thank you very much.